talk about me.
My views are peaceful, and to say to everyone on an app where
So are
you know what,
mine.
Janet, I'm going to mute you in a minute so I can get my thought out, okay? But for you to go around this
Well,
app,
keep my name out of your mouth. You keep.
for you to go around this app representing Canada in such a negative way, it absolutely impacts me. We strive to do better.
I think Janet just has I guess because Chester's her friend, I guess she doesn't see what he did wrong. Just, I don't know. Did she leave?
What? That answers everything. That answers absolutely everything. We were talking about her because she popped up, and we both, me and you, Angie, went, we've seen her somewhere. And then we went, we know who it is because we've just watched it. So if that's the way you've came across, and then you've came up into the box to have a chat, but the problem is she's just, I don't know.
I
She's not
hate
even
when
aggressive. It's just like shouting, and like her voice is all shaky, and like I don't know. She just wouldn't correct herself, and then obviously
she's
saying
really good
"That's how
friends
we
with
talk here."
Chester, and I guess she felt when she was defending Chester, I would take it that we were all wrong. And then she said, in Canada, we say colored. No, we don't.
No, we do not.
Yeah, and then people obviously did try and correct her, which I think that's again education. See if it's coming from an education standpoint, 100%. But Paigey coming in alive is 100% not. No.
Cheryl, since you attack me and every time I come live, she dropped out of the box. So Cheryl, whoever you are, you can either get blocked or leave on your own. Pick your choice.
No one kicked him.
Sorry, poor Carla's turned up and we've not even said a thing to Carla. Sorry, Carla.
I'm sorry, but Janet does my head in. I don't like her. I was in the live earlier and the thing she was saying, like calling us coloured and then saying that, that's what we call it, that's what we call them in Canada. I have
That's what we
an
called
auntie in
it, Carla.
Canada. I know I have an auntie in Canada and I've never heard anyone say that.
Good. Thank you, Carla. Because I was just going to say she represents like the 0.00005%.
Yeah, and it's just things she says like, I don't need to be educated. I don't need to be educated. Well, obviously you do because you're using that word like it's a word to use.
Yeah. I think she's, again, she's defending Chester because I guess they talk off the app, I think she said.
Yeah, they do. But I think with Chester, what it was this morning is that what we were saying is that he needs to say an apology, but the apology that he's giving is, I'm sorry if what I did offended people. I'm sorry if you got offended by what I did. But then it's not if. Just say you're sorry you offended people. You know you offended people. You knew what you was doing. So say sorry.
Yeah. Did Chester apologize after? Because then I left.
He apologized, but it wasn't a sincere apology. It wasn't recognizing what he's done. It was more of a trying to save himself by just saying sorry because if he thinks he's offended someone, that's what his apology was.
Oh, so he wasn't apologetic for what he did, just if he offended someone.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. Like Bunny said, you want to go back to bed, I think.
Yeah, you can drop me now, please.
Oh, you want to get out? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
But holy shit. Then I see Pearl.
Angel and whatever your name is, Janet took herself out of the box. Nobody took her out. And she talked more than any of us could have fucking talked.
Janet's allowed back in and voice her opinion, but Janet also has to listen to what other people have to say. Someone passed Janet a kick. I can't with the comments sometimes, sorry. But yeah, Pearl's on with a new account. What's she called? The fuck? Oh shit! What is it?
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I forget, but she was on. I think with Pearl, I'm kind of getting the feeling that she wants to normalize that word.
Yeah, does
that make sense?
Yeah.
Like she wants to make it that it's okay. She's going to stand her ground that word is okay to say. That's just what I'm feeling. I don't know.
I can't work the women out at all. Ignorant is not even the word. It's just pure, Yeah.
Pearl's username, what is it, Sam? The fuck ups of TikTok?
Wow, what is it? The biggest fuck up on TikTok or something?
Like that, yeah. Something along those lines. She was on not apologizing again and going on and on and on. It's like, fucking shut up. It's
Just an
fucking
excuse
crazy.
for everything, isn't it? Like the first time she did it, I didn't accept the first time she done it either. But I was obviously preaching, going, look, she needs education.
Yeah.
See people that go, I don't need educating. I can't understand that. You always need educating. It's always good to educate and re-educate, especially as you go through the years. I'm 40 this year. I will keep re-educating every single year. My
Yeah.
kids will re-educate me. I educate my kids. It all comes back on you. Do you know what I mean? When my kids are maybe 25, 26, and they turn around and go, oh, actually, Mum, this is how you say that. Like, we don't say that now. And I go, okay. That's education and re-education. It's 100% all you need. If someone goes, I don't want educating, you can't argue with that, can you? Well, right, okay. Go do you.
Janet, you can come back up if you're upset, and I just don't think your point kind of holds any, I don't know, it just sounds like you're friends with Chester, you're willing to excuse his behavior, and you're not really looking at what he did and the implications of what he did. You can't defend Chester.
I put the username in the comments. TikTok's biggest F up.
Yeah, that's her new. She was on. She said she'll be back later. So she's going to keep going on and saying that, it's okay. To me, I'm not understanding. Is this a deflection from something else? Because Pearl's acting weird. To be honest, this is all weird.
This, I never would have thought this was going to happen.
No, but it's weird. Like, I don't know.
I feel like they're learning, like the creators that seemed wholesome are learning that they get the bigger views and gifts if it's negative.
I don't know. I'm not excusing what he did, but how many times can you say sorry?
Nobody in the boxes has even answered her for the last 5 minutes. The comments are talking to her now.
The problem is, it's not that he said sorry, but he said sorry for, what was it again, Bunny? For what?
Sorry for...
If I offended anyone.
Yeah.
So not sorry about what he did. If he offended anyone, he's saying he's sorry. So that's not an apology.
It's a script when we really... That's one
thing is as well, you could say sorry, like Sam, I could say something to you, right? And it could cut you really deep, right? And if I genuinely didn't mean it and I go, listen, I'm really sorry, Sam. I wouldn't go, I'm sorry if I offended you. I go, I'm sorry you feel this way. I'm sorry that my hurts.
It hurts.
Sorry that my hurt. I'm sorry that my words hurt you. And you could go, that's fine, I don't accept it. So you can have an apology, but you don't have to accept it. So obviously, if I was to apologise to you, Sam, and you go, do you know what? I don't accept it. And I then need to go, right, well, that's it, done. But when it comes to racism, it's I think once it's out there, once you've put something out there, personally for me, there's no coming back from it. The same as when Pearl said it the first time, and then when CLA said what she said as well. Regardless of what her excuses were or anything, me as a person, I decided, no, I can't with that. No, there's something there, and a sorry. I don't think a sorry is enough. I think maybe re-educating yourself and doing all those things, which I think is what they tried to do with Pearl in that instance. With Chester, I think there's more going on with that person. I don't know if he's lacking in something or whether it is education, or I don't know what his intent of that was. It just, the kind of look in his face made me think that he knew exactly what he was saying.
Janet, Pearl said sorry the first time too, and then look what she did the second time.
Like the thing with the new hello everyone, by the way. The new username that Pearl has, it's very reminiscent to me of like someone throwing a tantrum at school.
Yeah. Or like she's being rebellious. Do you know, that's just how I feel. Like,
Yeah.
Even using that name, it's like a rebellious thing, like fuck you all type of thing.
Yeah.
That's how I took it. Like, fuck you. I'm going to make this word, acceptable on the internet and on TikTok. And I don't care what you guys have to say. Like, F you, all of you. That's how I took it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Sorry, Janet. Go ahead.
Can I just ask, if apologies aren't accepted, then what is? I'm sorry, I had a stroke, so my voice goes in and out.
We're not saying that they're not. So an apology doesn't have to be accepted.
No, that's true. That's true.
So some people,
But then what happens?
well, depending on where people are also in their path in life, I mean, there's things that I would accept an apology for today that I would have never 20 years ago. I mean, we grow, we change. And I think the basis of this conversation needs to be about growth. When I'm saying to you about not representing Canada, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm simply saying I don't want people around the world thinking that of us, because we strive, especially if you live near cities. Angie's near Toronto. I'm near Montreal. These are very diverse, multicultural cities that we need to strive to become humanity. And that is it. So I say this with peace. And when I say this, Janet, honest to God, I know people of all walks of life, of all ages, that
Me too.
they themselves, some people now in their 80s, when they were growing up here in Montreal and Toronto, if you were Irish, you were discriminated against. That was my family lineage.
Well,
I don't have to explain. You know by
listen,
living
I get discrimination as being a Newfoundlander.
in Canada.
I've got it all my life.
And that's where we just need to do better. And if you're going to defend someone on an app when they're using a word that you see is just going horribly wrong, it's taken the wrong way, which it should be taken the wrong way in this case. And the situation itself is so sensitive. We can't support creators if there's even a potential that they mocked someone. There's creators I like to think good of them. But the reality of some of the things that they do makes me open my eyes and say, I'm growing, I'm learning more now. I have to level up. And that's what we need to do. Even you with this situation with him.
Every day is a learning process. Every day.
Janet, someone in the comments has just asked a wee question for yourself. So Kiki has said, can someone please ask Janet why she thinks some of us are offended? So I think what Kiki's wanting to know is, can you see why they're offended?
100%. 100% I can. But my point is, apologies have been made. This happened a month ago. He hasn't done anything since. He has no intentions of doing anything, but nobody seems to be wanting to accept the apology and move on from it. So, what can he do? What can he absolutely do in this position?
He has to lie in the bed that he's made, unfortunately.
And he is. He has.
Unfortunately.
And he is. He has.
I'm not saying
he's owned up to it.
I'm not saying he isn't. You just asked the question.
Well, then what? What else? What more can he do?
Nothing.
Exactly. That is my
ask
point.
for some context?
When is it going to be enough? When is the hate going to stop?
Unfortunately, it's not enough. What he did was extremely wrong.
And did you see his apologies?
I was in there for a bit, yeah. I saw some of it, but then...
When? Today?
Here's the thing, today, yeah.
Because he's apologized 4 times, Angie. 4.
It doesn't matter. Janet, I think you're missing the point here.
No, I'm not. I think you guys are missing the point that, you only can go... Can I speak? Can I speak?
I understand where you're coming
from. Oh my God.
Right? And you can support him all you want. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. If you want to support him, support him. He looks like he could do with a friend right now. But the problem is he has to lie.
Apology. There's nothing left for anybody to do. So just let it go. Let it go then. He's done it. He said it. He apologized. So let it go.
Janet, what you're saying in letting it go, he can apologize, correct. He can apologize, correct. But people don't have to let it go.
Well, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Keep this up for eternity?
Janet.
This is ridiculous.
Janet, it's not a matter, like if you do something to me
It's
like
an attack. He's being attacked right now. For something he already apologized for something he said, yes, I did. He's apologized.
Not everyone is going to accept his apology.
No, I know. Obviously, nobody is. But you know what? As a person, once you apologize and you truly mean it, what more can you do? If it's not acceptable, if it's not acceptable by people, if it's not acceptable by people, there's nothing else the man can do.
It's your actions after you apologise.
The fact is, he did it on an online forum where it's got what you do online stays online forever. So he's going to be picked up 10 years from now. It'll be picked up.
Exactly.
And is it the same thing? So
okay,
like
fine. But
like
listen,
that logic though, like Janet,
And
like
not
with that
everyone
logic,
has
then you
to
can
accept
do
his
like whatever you
apology.
want
He
and just
offended
apologize.
multiple people.
no, you
Janet, could
cannot
I-
do anything
could I
you
say
want and
something?
apologize. No, you certainly cannot. And I can understand that there will be people who will not accept his apology. But
you do
me, what
agree
I'm
that there
trying to
should be-
voice is,
so you
what
do
I'm
agree that
trying
there
to
should be
voice
some
is,
accountability then? Like in
what
which case
what more can the man do?
Can you just
I'm trying to ask you.
Janet, if you could listen to me for a second.
Like in which case you do agree that there should be some accountability. Well, I mean, like in this case, it just so happens that
He's taken
like,
accountability.
I know. I'm not saying he hasn't, but I'm just saying that there is like a punishment for certain things, and if it happens to be that he's currently being ostracized by a certain online community, then that's based on what he did. Now, just on that, could I please ask for some context, because I kind of get the gist of what you're talking about, but I kind of need specifics. Is it that he used the N-word, or he was just racist?
No,
in
he did
general?
not. He was on his live. We had come off a live that was nothing but hate. And we got on and we were just being ourselves. If you ever come into Chester's live, there's a group of us, we're always laughing, carrying on, joking. It's
Janet.
lighthearted. It's nothing in it to be racial. There's no hate. There's no nothing.
That banana up and ate it, knowing that Paigey was in there, because he was like, "Oh,
He
what
did
are
it
you doing
because
here? Fuck off,
Paigey
And then
was
he picked
pushing
up
him.
the banana, he ate it, and said, "I haven't had one of
Paigey
these for
pushed
over
him to
12
it.
months."
She
I don't
pushed
eat
him
things.
to it.
No,
Janet, can
never.
I-
He never pushed.
No,
he-
I mean, there was
Everyone-
she was in the comments making comments, and she was
everyone in
riling
that live
everybody
today-
up.
Everyone in that live today said that they were in there, and Paige never said nothing. All she did was put the eye emoji.
No, she
Why
didn't.
that teasing?
No, she didn't. I'm not lying about it. I have no
Janet,
reason
could
to
I
lie.
please tell you something?
Yeah,
This
go
isn't an
ahead.
attack at all, but you're saying that people don't accept his apology. It's not, well, it is about the apology, but it's your actions after that apology is what gives you retribution. Obviously, being a racist
Okay,
isn't.
so what else
good
did he
thing.
do? What else did he do?
He's apologized for what he's done, and now
Yes.
time is what's going to heal the situation.
Yeah.
But my point is, why is it stirred up again today when the
know
man
what,
has
Janet?
done
You-
that? He's
you go
done nothing
around to
since.
us.
He's
You going
done
around
nothing
to us,
since.
jumping in everyone's boxes, defending him is making it worse for him. So I suggest you jump out the box and stay out.
Janet, should we-
Really?
Janet, should we forgive Pearl then?
No, definitely not.
So how is Pearl's situation different from Chester's?
How is it different? Because Pearl is coming on and making fun of it all. Pearl did it twice. Pearl
And Chester-
she said she's
Chester
not
did it
sorry for
intentionally.
it. She has said she's not sorry for it. There's totally different.
Chester did
It's
it
totally
intentionally,
different.
Knowing that Paige was in the live and ate a banana, that he hasn't had one of them for 12 months.
No, probably
Yes.
not.
Watch
And
the
she-
video. Watch the video.
Okay, I watched the video. I was there when it happened. I was there. And I
you
know what
that
Paigey
he
was
picked
doing.
He said to Paigey,
Oh my
what are you
God.
doing here? Fuck off, Paigey. Then picked the banana up, ate it, and said, banana, cheeky monkey. And then said, I haven't touched a banana for 12
It's because Paigey was inciting everything.
No, it was 'cause
No,
Paige
you
was in
weren't
there and he
there.
wanted a bit of the
Honestly,
crowd
man,
back.
like you guys are ridiculous. You were not there. You do not know the comments the girl
I
was
don't think
making.
I can listen to a racist enabler anymore, Canadian Angie. I don't know if it's the best place for Janet to be in here.
No, it definitely isn't. She's making it worse.
You're all
can I say
ridiculous.
something?
I mean, somebody got a different conversation or a
I
different
actually-
side of the story, and you can't
I
listen
actually
to
do.
it.
Janet, we have
I actually
Can't
do.
listen to it. It's fine. I'm going. No worries.
Bye, Janet.
By enabler.
See, I don't really think that Janet should have went. I think it's kind of important to have that conversation with her. I just want to give a small little bit of an intro. I'm mixed race, Caribbean and Irish. I'm currently having a similar-ish conversation in Ireland because I'm pretty sure that you've all noticed, or it's all over the media, that we're having a little bit of it's a housing crisis that's been compounded by a mass influx of immigrants, which is kind of polarizing people's views and bringing out the worst in some people, and certain agendas have been pushed by others. And it's a complex and it's a messy situation. So so what I've decided to do over the last couple of weeks, over the last week really, is start having this conversation on a more, I suppose, on a wider base, on a larger platform. I've only done one live, but I had a great deal of engagement from it. And what really pushed me to do it was the complexities of the issue. As I said, there seem to be a couple of camps that, and I'm not saying that I don't know you people and I have no insight into what this conversation really is, just from the last 10, 15 minutes or so of listening. So the reason that I feel this conversation is so important to have is because there seems to be very polarized groups popping up on both sides of the issue. The way I like to put it is people that are kind of, or it's, I've taken this from Tucker Carlson, but so far left that they're far right. And one of the things that's making it such a complicated issue, especially in Ireland, is that I'm pretty sure, like, there's Irish people here, you understand we have something called the crack. Now, this doesn't exactly apply to your situation here, but it is just kind of an interesting insight into how this topic is very complicated and shouldn't be looked at, and this is no pun intended, should not be looked at in black and white. There's a lot of shades of grey on this topic. So, for instance, I'm as I said, I'm half black. My cousins are half Asian. They're from Hong Kong. I have other cousins from a different part of China. We have a diverse family. And sometimes, as part of what we deem okay as part of the crack, and I'm fast tracking a deep conversation out here, so just bear with me. Sometimes what we do is I'll make jokes or target puns at him for being Asian, and he'll target puns at me for being black, which from the outside will be construed as being racist. But it's ignoring the fact that language, words are just noises, and a word in my language is just a noise in yours. So if myself and my friend or a close friend or someone inside my social group have an agreement that certain words carry different meanings when we use them amongst ourselves, nobody has the right to infringe upon that, because that's our freedom of speech and our way of changing and altering how we communicate with each other. So something, for instance, like that would be construed by a stranger, or even if mentioned by a stranger, has a completely different meaning when mentioned between myself, my friends, and my cousins. So it's just important to kind of be aware of that there are layers and complexities to this. Like, I'm currently having quite a disagreement with what seem like a far right group who like to tar everybody with the racist brush. And I feel labels in this instance, they're very dangerous. Like, you call somebody crazy and all of a sudden like nobody listens to what they say. You label somebody racist and all of a sudden they're a pariah. We need to be more careful and very much more conscious of how we apply these labels to people. Like, in just the insight that I've had into your conversation here, what I see is, and I've experienced this myself, from the people who are saying that they're anti-racist have labeled me as a coon and an Uncle Tom because I'm defending, like, the reality of the situation, because I'm not jumping onto their bandwagon and labeling everybody who does anything that's remotely deemed racist as a full racist, because I'm not doing that. They're being racist towards me, which is quite ironic and really kind of shows the approach that they're taking. So I just urge everybody listening to really just take a step back when you're thinking about this, and do consider that people can do something like racist, like the person that you're speaking about, Chester, with the banana, but people can also have a lapse in judgment when they're antagonized or brought to the stage when somebody's insulting them or running them up. That doesn't excuse them using racial terminology or a racist way of communicating, but it is something to be aware that people might just do that in order to get under somebody's skin because they've gotten under your skin. They might necessarily be a racist, even though they may say or do something that is racist. They'll do that to get under your skin. So it is important to take the entirety of the person into context before you label them like this. Does that make sense?
That was lovely, Voltage. Thank you.
In the case of
Thanks for
Chester,
listening.
in the case of Chester, then having a black woman come into your live and was sitting in the comments, and then you decided to do that with the banana and make the monkey comment, would you not regard that as being a racist comment?
Just
Oh,
because
I
you're
would,
black
I would
woman.
of course, and I take offence to that as well. As I said, I'm half black. Like I can put on my camera for a second. Now, keep in mind, I live in Ireland, so I'm quite pale at the minute. We have long winters, but my the Caribbean side of my family is from Antigua, so bear with me. So I've experienced racism myself. I've been a victim of it. I have a voice in the matter as far as I'm concerned. And for, you know, like I do get it. I do understand where you're coming from. That's not okay what happened there. But I can also see from my own experience, some of the people I've been speaking with, they go out of their way to just be antagonistic. And when you try to get, or when you're almost getting to an important point that you'd like to discuss, some people drop into insults because they can't really have the discussion. And when people do that, it can be quite frustrating. And if you're in a live and people are cutting across you and not letting you speak and insulting you, taking what you're saying out of context and paraphrasing, which I've experienced quite a lot, then that does get frustrating. Not everybody's able to articulate themselves in the way where they can recognize that and where they can explain this to people, especially an audience listening, which I can, and that does take a lot of the stress out of it, is one thing I've noticed. So I can have these conversations with people who don't necessarily agree, and they can divulge into insults, and I just keep bringing attention back to the audience that this is what somebody is doing. Instead of answering my question, instead of progressing the discussion, they'll start insulting, or they'll draw the attention away from the topic at hand because they don't want to discuss it, because they can't. These people are just trolls. They're just trying to whip up hatred. It's sensationalist marketing, and don't let them use you. You know, it's very important that we're aware that people are doing these things, because there are an awful lot of people starting to do it. I started this channel, Mind Voltage. You might see I'm not hiding my identity at all. My name is Asa. I started this channel as an entertainment platform, but I just happened to have gotten pulled into something like this because I went into a conversation which I thought was going to be an open conversation about racism in Ireland, and I was attacked for my views. Nobody wanted to discuss it. They just wanted to be racist towards me and shout me down because I didn't agree with their views. So now I find myself at ends with a group of, for the majority, like not even the majority, but who are claiming to be anti-racist for black people in Ireland and the UK, and they're really just racist themselves. So I've kind of been pulled into this, and I feel like I need to give the majority of Irish people at this stage a voice, because they're being tarred with a brush that's just completely false. Like, I've lived here, I'm 34, I've lived here my entire life. Like, I was born in the UK, but I've lived in Ireland for the entirety of my life. I had my first birthday here. I'm Irish. I understand the Irish sense of humour and the way Ireland works. I understand the intricacies of the situation, and people are trying to take that out of context. And I don't think it's specific to Ireland. I think this is happening all around the world, and there are groups, like, I don't know what their agenda is, but there very much seems to be groups who are looking to polarize this issue. And it's so important that we don't let them, because that's just another divide. We need to try and heal this and not push each other further apart, if that makes sense.
Can I ask, Mind Voltage, do you think if someone says a racist comment, so how do I word this? So if someone says a racist comment, do you think there's any way of going back on that? Like, what Janet was saying there is, obviously Chester said he's apologised. What more can he do? So what would be your answer to that then?
Well, see, that's the thing. That, remember I said earlier that you have to keep in mind that there are thousands of shades of grey on this topic. I think that somebody should very much be chastised for something like that and be made aware of how hurtful something like that can be, of the connotations that it carries. I think that there needs to be some sort of comeuppance for it. I don't think it should be a label that sticks to them their entire life, unless they're shown to hate people for their colour or for their race. Like, this is the thing. The definition of racism is quite straightforward. It's disliking or hating someone because of their race or where they're from. That's the definition. Not saying something that's pointed or targeted at their race, or not making fun of it. I'd say, I go as far as to say that we do have to be careful not to let PC culture run too far away with us. Like, the people, like, I watch, one of my favourite comedians will be Dave Chappelle. And to use a perfect example, his wife is Asian. He's opened some of his shows with Asian jokes. He's not a racist, clearly. His wife is Asian. But he can make fun of Asian people. That doesn't make you a racist. So you can say, you can call somebody a racist slur, and you can mean it with hate, and that is a racist action. But that doesn't fundamentally make you a racist. It means that you committed a racist act. Do you know, at least to my mind anyway, like, sometimes, and I know this from experience, I know people who I know not to be racist, who have said racial things to me, racially motivated things to me, but they said it because we were arguing and they were trying to get under my skin. But I know these people not to be racists, and I think we all kind of know this is the truth. Life isn't so black and white. You don't stick to one ideology so completely. People who are
I think the problem is that maybe I do see it as black and white. I think if you've got that in you, it's in you. I think if you're going to come out with those kind of comments, something's not quite right.